Raw.
Hi guys, as you are all aware, no doubt, we've had two tragedies happen this past week with very famous bodybuilders or bodybuilding related personalities having passed. One is, of course, Rich Piana, who I'm going to speak about shortly, and the other is Dallas McCarver, who I had the opportunity to meet. Actually, I had the great opportunity to meet both of them. And that's why I feel like I'm going to put out this video. It's not at all for hits or any of that sort of stuff. It is simply to share my thoughts on both of these individuals and to celebrate their lives, as a matter of fact. And this is why I'm wearing white versus the traditional black. Most people, when they think of death as a sadness, and it is a sadness, and there is a time for grieving. But I believe that it should also be a celebration of their past life, and a celebration of whatever it is that they're going to experience from here on. Physics tells us that energy cannot be destroyed, so that's why I don't believe that everything ends just with death. It's certainly the end of our physical body, but there has to be something beyond that. What it is, I have no clue. I won't pretend to make anything up either. First, Dallas McCarver, I met him this past January at Flex Project in Florida, along with Flex Lewis, of course, as the host. And Dallas had stopped by on one of the days and just stopped in and talked to us. He actually showed us how he was looking. We weren't allowed to post any pictures of his physique, but he was getting ready for the Arnold's at the time, and he looked absolutely amazing, huge. But I think what struck me most were the moments that I was able to speak with him one on one. I'm a very intuitive person, and I'm able to pick up on people's personalities beyond the personality that they're trying to show me. Oftentimes, people will put on an act, as all of you are aware, and that's not really who they are deep down. I've got a pretty good BS detector, and I can tell you that Dallas didn't put on any airs. I think he learned that really well from Flex Lewis, hanging around. Flex is a really good model for young Dallas, and I think he knew there's really no point to not be anything other than himself, and he had some amazing genetic gifts, and he worked very hard in the gym. And being as tall as he was and as big as he was, it could have been very easy for him to have been less than humble person, and he wasn't. He was extremely humble and very kind, very patient. He spoke with us, even though I know he was hungry after his weight training. We took some pictures and stuff with him, and as a big guy, he takes a lot of fuel, and he still sat and spoke with us for a while. So a very, very good man. My condolences go out to his family and to his friends, to Flex as well, because he will be missed. He was a definite up and comer, and he was a definite. He was already doing big things, but he was going to certainly be doing a lot more. So it's unfortunate that he's passed on to something else. Next, Rich Piana. I also had the opportunity to meet Rich, and of course, I watched many of his videos. I found them very entertaining there, and there was always something good, even in the ones that were repetitive. It was really, really good. And the thing I found was that I really got to know who Rich was through his videos, and I got to see the persona that he was portraying, but I also saw the person that he was. And I can tell you the person that he was a very, very good, kind person. Despite all of the persona stuff that he played up, despite the reactions to other YouTubers and athletes that may have seemed a little bit childish, that was what actually kind of made me like Rich, or at least identify with Rich a little bit more, because I could see myself in him. Although I would have been me a number of years ago, I could see a little bit of an insecurity in Rich that came out quite often. And of course, as bodybuilders, most of us will, if we're true to ourselves, will admit we're somewhat insecure about our physiques, about our progress in life, etc., etc. And in fact, a lot of people are. It's just a matter of whether or not will admit it or not. And certainly, I don't think Rich would ever admit it. But it was truly there. It was truly deep within him. He always seemed to have something to prove. But he was a good person. I saw him at the Arnold's. Actually, I was in line up to say hello to him. It was after the Arnold's had closed. This was a few years ago, before he had the huge booths. And in front of me were two little girls, and he actually took quite a bit of time to talk to those girls. Like I said, the expo had already been closed, but he sat there and got down on their level and spoke to them in such a kind, sweet way that right away I knew this guy was a legit good person. And from then on, I became a fan, and I did watch a lot of his videos. I hate to think that he would ever be reduced to the old "does the dick hang lower than the balls" type quote, because that certainly was about as far off from what Rich truly was. I know he was a good person, and I'm sure if given enough time, he would have been able to throw off some of those shackles and insecurities and grown into an even bigger and better person spiritually. I wish Chanel and all of Rich's family and close friends my most sincerest condolences. This was a very difficult time, and I hope that you guys can find peace somehow. Well, with both Dallas and Rich both being public personalities, there's going to be a lot of stuff said. There's a lot of conjectures and a lot of conspiracy theories and a lot of opinions shared over the next few weeks. I'm absolutely sure. So let's leave that to the professionals, and let's just, when we think of these guys, let's just think of them at their very best, and let's give them and their families the respect that they deserve. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and enjoy every moment of every day, because you never know when it could be your last one. Chris Johnson from Advanced Genetics. Hoorah.